On this week's episode of Royal Key, you're going to get to see all things softball at the University of Georgia. Let's go. Tanner, we're in the new softball facilities. This is something that you guys had to build around a hill. A lot of the pre-existing architecture, but had to kind of work within the new means, blend newness into what it is now. So take me through what went behind the design of this facility.
So actually it was really great working with our design build team. The existing softball stadium sits up on a plateau and the parking lots were all below it. So when we really talked about expandable space, we felt landlocked when we dug into it, much like we did with our baseball stadium, and we thought about how do we bring one level in at field and then stack a second level down to the parking lot a base below. It actually allowed us to create a ton of student athlete efficiencies so that their day flows through the building, starting from the parking lot when they enter, coming through the weight rooms, up through their lounge, to the locker room, and then out to the practice field. It exceeded all of our expectations that we ever could have dreamed for.
How long was this renovation?
So we started as about 1.5 years. The coordination of being able to stay operational on the field, living in the existing locker room space while this was being built, then moving the student athletes over into this space, and then going back and renovating the old space for the coaches' offices and recruiting spaces was a little bit of a puzzle piece to work through. We did it through last softball season and opened it just in time ahead of this year.
What were must-haves in this space?
I think we needed the complex for both soccer and softball out here, needed a new weight room, some indoor training spaces, but largely the program had just outgrown its physical confines of what we had, especially compared to what our peers were building. And so focusing on not just newness, but the old space was tucked underneath the stadium. Everything you see in this building is about getting as much natural light and bright open spaces as we possibly could.
So when a student athlete starts their day, it's typically in here.
Yeah, so the great part about this building is it's really been designed to think about how the student athletes would flow through a practice day or a game day. They're gonna start by parking out in the new parking lot that's been developed outside this building. They'll come in, go straight to their locker room, which is directly above us, put their stuff in, and then they really get settled into their schedule down here in the lounge. Between them working on anything they've got for school, they'll fuel up prior to practice, and just generally hanging out as a team and trying to create some bond level right before their schedule starts. From there, they'll then move. They go next door into the new weight room. They always start the practice off with a weight session, and then they'll move from weights up to the hitting facility, which is stacked directly above it. They'll do hitting and pitching, and then they go from there out to the field as a team for team practice.
When it comes to the locker room, we were told it gives a Death Star kind of a look. One of those lots of dark colors, really moody kind of ambiance vibes to it.
So everything in this building, our coaching staff, when we were designing it, we presented everything in a light option and a dark option. And a lot of times with female teams, they don't want it as stark colors as you get in, say, baseball, football, some of the men's sports. And so Coach Baldwin presented it, both the meeting room, the locker room, both options to the team, and they chose the dark option 10 out of 10 on all of them. And so I think it really gives the facility a unique look that hasn't been in some of our female sports facilities in the past.
And the lounge space we're in right now, it is incredibly expansive. How were they able to make this space so large in the confines of what, construction and the hill and everything?
So I think it worked into, you developed the second floor of the building with the locker room laying out, the team room, the training room, and the hitting facility. And then it was a matter of, well, what lays out underneath it? So then we got down to the base level and you got a new equipment room with laundry, storage, the lounge area with nutrition in the middle, mixed-use bathrooms, so any of the other teams are using the weight room space, had restroom facilities and locker space into the building, and then the weight room all laid out underneath it. The extra space we rarely factored into the lounge, and it turned out great. The kids love it.
How many other teams use this facility outside of just softball?
So most of the building is the softball footprint, but the large portion of the building to the north is the weight room and the training facility. The training facility above, the nets can all be removed. It's a big indoor turf room of that space. So both the golfs, soccer, softball, and sometimes equestrian will come out and use those two facility spaces. We're also building a brand new track complex across the street, and they will use these facilities as well when it's done.
What are some of the cool aspects of the weight room? Something that, people can look forward to whenever they're going to train here.
Everything in this building, the lights can go red, so we like to be able to throw red light anywhere we can. So the weight room lives in a red light, dark. It's kind of dungeony. It's got a little bit of that Death Star look as well. But it also has huge open windows. So even though it is in the sub-basement level, it's got huge windows, lets in a lot of natural light. So it's not like you're just in a bunker when you're working out. So we've just finished the building. It transitions straight out to the field. We've done a ton of new things for the stadium. But just like the Student Athletes Day, whether it's a game day or practice day, they're gonna come out here. We built a brand new home pitching bullpen, redid the entire field surface. We also opened up the fence. So this open area now is for fans can sit and mill around in the outfield, as well as a brand new outfield bleacher setup. And we've done a lot of renovations to the lighting system, all new LED lights, sound system, and everything else for the fan amenities in the space.
Now these lights do exactly what you would expect of those in Sanford Stadium. They go red, they go white. Fans can really experience that when it comes to home runs and at night, correct?
Correct. It was such a hit at Sanford. We've taken the lighting effects and what happens for the exciting moments in our game days across all our facilities. It's now at soccer, softball, baseball. It's moving into the Coliseum in the off season. So we're really trying to recreate the same level of fan experience of what you expect from a Georgia athletics event in each one of our individual facilities.
What do you think people should know about Georgia softball?
I think if you haven't ever come, that it's a show unlike anything else. The game of softball moves so fast and it's so much energy at all times that it's a great family environment. The games are shorter than a baseball game, but overall the intensity level and the level of competition in the Southeastern Conference is unmatched.
We're with head coach Tony Baldwin. This is a facility that is new, improved, and it really showcases what UGA softball is as a program. What has it done for you all?
Oh, it's just created an opportunity for our players to come and be treated in a first-class manner. You know, the SEC and softball, across the board in all sports, but particularly in softball, it's the best of the best. And, you want your players to feel like they're a part of something special. And, every time they come out here, this is a home away from home. And really, it's a players first facility. So, they get treated as they should.
How much has the softball landscape changed, and how do you think that this facility is really going to help with the changes that have been made in collegiate softball?
Well, certainly the exposure has changed and the quality of play has grown and the depth throughout the country in terms of quality teams. The TV exposure, I think last year we were the 4th most watched college sport. And so, ultimately the exposure has created opportunity for programs to grow, and then the SEC has really been a leader for a long time on facilities, but certainly these days, all of the best facilities in the country are in the SEC.
What were must-haves in this space for you personally as coach?
The part that I particularly enjoy is the batting cage, but for the players, it was really about how do we create an experience start to finish from them, from the time they arrive to the facility until their work is done. How do we treat them in a first-class manner? And I'm really thankful for Tanner and the design team taking in all of the considerations for them. There really isn't a place that has better player amenities than what we offer our players.
What do you think is the best seat in the house when it comes to a game day?
Well, you really can't beat the porch. It gives you such a perspective of not only the fans in the stands and the crowd ambiance, and as well as just the quality of the play. So you can't really hardly beat the seating on the front porch.
What are some of the fun traditions that this team has?
As far as traditions go, I think the thing that we're probably known for over the years is our offense and our ability to hit the ball out of the park. In the past, one of our standards was if it went into the trees, you did something right, and if it didn't, well, then you need to work a little bit harder. But we've removed most of the trees, and that's what progress looks like. But we still, I think pride ourselves in our ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, and I think that's one of the things that we take a lot of pride in.
We're saying goodbye to the Jag, but want to know where you guys want us to go next? Leave a comment down below.